And if this is your first viewing or listening experience, I want to welcome you. I want to welcome you. What's good? What's good? What's really, really, really good? I like to ask this question at the beginning of my podcast because I like to try and take your mind from every inconvenience or thing that seems out of place right now, the uncomfortable moment, what's not meeting your preference. So you can think about, you really do have more good things happening on your behalf. You really do have more things working in your favor than you have things working against you. You may have one inconvenience, maybe two, could be three, but you have so many more things that are happening for you or that you could be taking advantage of to work on your behalf. Remember this, and then we're going to move on, that whatever difficulty that you're experiencing right now, whatever inconvenience, whatever thing that's not meeting your preference, that's not according to your bias, that is happening right now, that's a bridge to you going to your better place. It's a bridge to you getting to your next. So whatever's inconvenient right now, whatever's uncomfortable right now, whatever is not suiting your bias, walk across it. That's your bridge. That's your bridge to getting to the place that you prefer to be. Got it? This is the Act Accordingly series podcast, and I am your host, Daniel J. Williams, and the purpose of this podcast is this. It's to show men not only how to identify, but more importantly, how to walk away from certain patterns and habits in our lives that keeps us living in cycles of frustration. Yes, I said ours, because I'm still living life, and unfortunately, there's going to be things that's going to come along that's not going to be a part of the plan. But I don't panic. I don't try and find a way to avoid it. I don't look for a plan B and abandon the plan. I don't abandon the vision. I just remain flexible, being able to adjust, augment whatever I'm in at the moment, alter it a little bit, enough to still keep me on the trajectory of the vision, and I keep on moving. All right, listen, I'm not going to prolong this. I know that you have things to do, and I have things to do as well. So husbands, fathers, men, let's talk about this. I know that, there's a lot of talk about always doing better, change your trajectory, change your mindset. You can do it. You can win. Just find a way to win. But first, you know what? You got to be honest with yourself, because there's a lot of excitement about, oh, yes, I can change. I can move from this and I can get there. I can get there. But where are you getting there from? First, you need to be honest about where you are and how you got there. Not just assume that because you're motivated and you're excited, because someone gave an elaborate speech, you read something that just excited you and exhilarated you, that, you know what, I can begin today and start to move in that direction. Not, I'm gonna be honest with you, not. Until you be honest with yourself and take responsibility and be accountable for why you're in the place that you're at, why you're in the midst of the things you're in the midst of, then you'll be able to say, okay, now let's move forward. So what I'm saying is, it's not by coincidence, it's not by accident, and it's not by happenstance that you're in the situation that you're in, or you're facing what you're facing. If you're overweight right now, it's not coincidence, it's not by accident, it's not by happenstance. If you're in a bad relationship that's been bad for some time and it's only getting worse, it's not by coincidence, it's not by accident, it's not by happenstance. If you're in a place of feeling like financially, economically, you're not moving, is it really because you're not getting the opportunities? Or is it because of something that you're not doing, something that you refuse to do, something that you keep avoiding? It's not by coincidence, it's not accidental, and it's not by happenstance. Let's talk about this. The reason why we are where we are, really, and let me put this out here before I even get started, right? Just to clear up some stuff for somebody who wants to be, so detailed. I know as children, you can't help the household that you're born into, the neighborhood that you're born into, the socioeconomic class and status that you're born into. As a child, if you grew up in poverty as a child, that's what you had. You couldn't help that. There's nothing that you could have done at that point of life. But now that you're an adult, or you're moving into being an adult, or being able to take care of life and make decisions that's going to affect you now that you're responsible for you, that's no longer a viable reason. It's an excuse. You know, forget about the whole thing about my dad wasn't there, my mother didn't hug me enough, all of that. That goes out the window. That's the last that anybody wants to hear that, because you know what? No one wants excuses. They only want to see results. They want to see positive results. They want to see productive results. If you can't get productive results, then no one has time for you. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about why you are where you are and how to move forward from that. First of all, it's because of the decisions you made. Why are you overweight? Why are you overweight and you have poor performance, your endurance, your stamina, it sucks? It's because you made a decision to keep eating poorly. You made a decision to continue sitting on the couch, continue lying around, to continue avoiding exercises. You made that decision, and you continuously made that decision. So listen, it starts like this. It starts with a decision that you then set into motion, right? And once you set it into motion, then those activities, they become a habit. And then those habits, they turn into routines. And then those routines, they become cycles. And cycles are destructive because cycles are just around and around and around. They have no destination. They have no ending point. It's just a loop. So let's go back through it again. It starts with a decision. And then from you making that decision, you set that decision into motion by an activity. From the activity, you create a habit. From the habit, you create a routine. From the routine, you end up in the cycle that has you where you are right now. Whatever bad position, whatever uncomfortable position, whatever inconvenient position it is right now, whether it's your health, whether it's your finances, whether it's your relationships, whether it's something spiritual, whether it's something emotional, you're where you are because of your decisions, nothing else. Once we start owning that, then we can start moving forward. Once you start owning that you are where you are, you're in what you're in because of you, because of your decisions, your actions, your habits, your routines, the cycle that you place yourself in. Now, what you can do is you can break the cycle and begin to plot a course for a destination. Now you have a trajectory. Now you have a journey that's starting. You're no longer going in a loop because you realize it's my fault. I did this. I placed myself here. It was the decisions that I made. I kept making the decision again and again. I kept performing the motion, the activity again and again. I allowed the habit to become my default thing. The routine became normal. The routine became a cycle. And I was inconvenient in the cycle, but still wouldn't break it because it was so day to day that it became a part of who you are. The reason why it's so hard to move forward is because you let what got you to the point to where you are become your lifestyle. Lifestyle changes aren't easy. Lifestyle changes require lots of discipline. It requires discipline. It requires consistency. It requires you to be responsible for you. And sometimes, hey, it's to the point to where you need an accountability team. You might need, some of us may need a partner. Some of you may need a partner. Some may need an entire team. That's why community is so important. That's why community is so important. Be on the lookout. I'm going to be announcing a private men's community that's exactly about that. Accountability. Not a group of challenges, making random challenges. Some challenges are good for your health, for your mindset, for just for your growth. But you know what, accountability. You're saying, hey, you said you were going to do this. Where are you? What's going on? Why are you falling off? Why you falling back into the loop? All right, so listen, it's not by coincidence, not by accident, it's not by happenstance, right? That you are where you are. But now that you know that you're responsible for it, you got yourself into that position. So it's going to have to be you that get yourself out. No one's coming to pull you out. Nobody's coming to save you. No one's coming to save you. Because first of all, you hear it all the time. You're a man. Figure it out. You can do it. Roll with the punches. I'm not saying that that's what you should be doing, but as being a man, as being someone who's going to be in a leadership position, someone that's going to be the front line, if you're looking to have influence with others, then you need to show them how it's done. You need to show them how it's done. So listen, you got to stop being comfortable in the place that you are. There's no more time for blaming your parents, for blaming the environment, for blaming it on having a lack of resources. Own up to your decisions. You just didn't take advantage of certain things when the opportunity came. You decided that it was easier for you to just stay in the thing that you were in rather than to push harder, get in the other uncomfortable. You're in one uncomfortable, but it's not benefiting you. Go to the uncomfortable that's going to move you to a place to where you have a more, how can I say it? A better footing, spiritually, emotionally, financially, physically, and as far as your health goes, relationship-wise goes, opportunities. Once you get into an uncomfortable of like, I'm tired of this uncomfortable, and I'm gonna have to get uncomfortable for better, it'll be worth it. All right, so now what? Once you own up to that, once you say, yeah, it was my decisions, it was my actions, it was my habits, my routines, the cycles that I put myself in. So now what? All right, here's the acting accordingly. Ready for it? All you need to do is be deliberate, be calculated, be consistent, and be faithful in the decision that you made to change, breaking the loop, and having a trajectory to a destination. That's all. That's the act accordingly. Because it's about trajectory changing. It's about breaking the loop and having a trajectory, having a destination, having an endpoint. Now, there's a lot of other things tied into that, and we don't have enough time to go through all of that right now. That's why, you know what, if you want, you can hit me up on my email, the number 2, actaccordingly@gmail.com. You want to reach out to me and find out a little bit more about this trajectory changing, on being deliberate, being calculating, being consistent, and being faithful, because it's trajectory changing and it's for your benefit, then email me. The number 2, actaccordingly@gmail.com. And if you're not following me on my social media platforms, and why aren't you following me on my social media platforms? You should be. Find me on Facebook, Daniel J. Williams. Facebook, you can find me at Daniel J. Williams. 2 accounts for my IG. Instagram, you can find me at the number 2, act accordingly. The number 2, act accordingly. And the word 1, the number 2, triumph. 1 to triumph. The word 1, the number 2, triumph. You can follow both accounts. And once you get in, hit me up in my DM. Hit me in my DM. Let me know if these podcasts are being of any value to you. Are they bringing about something in you that you thought about it before, but this is confirmation? Maybe you need to be a part of a men's community, a part of a community of men, like-minded men that are where you want to be, that are being. You want them to be being. You want the ing. You want them to be being successful in the things that you want to be successful in. Not that they had success in it, but they're still having success. They have ongoing success. The best way to learn is from somebody who is doing it, done it. That's good, but doing it is better because there's always alterations and changes that you have to make to keep up with the times and to stay relevant, to stay on point. Because you know what? Just like they have to upgrade systems, there's one Apple product after the next Apple product because this one ended up being obsolete and it no longer works for keeping up with the rate and the speed of information and technology now. So you want somebody who is constantly growing at this point. Got it? All right. This is the Act Accordingly series, and I'm your host, Daniel J. Williams. Once again, I welcome you if this was your first viewing or listening experience. I'm glad you returned if you're always rocking with me. And remember, it's not by coincidence, it's not by accident, it's not by happenstance that you're in the situation that you're in, that you're at the point of life that you're at. It's because of your decisions and the decisions that you turned into actions and actions that you turned into habits and habits that you turned into routines and routines that you allowed to become cycles and the cycles that you wouldn't break because you just got comfortable and you were lazy and wanted excuses for not breaking out. Break out. It's the only way you're going to have a trajectory change. All right? Act accordingly.